Greetings, timeshare travelers. This is the Timeshare Traveler, episode 18. It's a hike near Pagosa Springs, Colorado. Wonderful, wonderful view, walking through the mountains, ending with a beautiful view of a waterfall, which you can see sort of in the picture above. Before I get into details about the hike, though, let me first tell you about my channel, and then I'll dive into details. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm your Timeshare Traveler. The goal of my YouTube channel is improving your timeshare travels. I'll do this through timeshare video reviews, tips for using timeshares, and much, much more. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, Twitter at Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com. And if you like my videos, don't forget to click subscribe below. This hike is a relatively not a lot of ups and downs, but it is starting out quite high altitude at around 9,000 feet, and then it walks you through. So if you're not acclimated to the height, taking a 6-mile hike out and back to the falls is just take it easy. Okay, today's hike is 4-mile trail. 3 miles in to the waterfall, and then it gets supposed to be pretty easy all the way there, and then pretty hard after that. So I'm going to go into the waterfall, and this is today's hike with the Timeshare Traveler near Pagosa Springs, Colorado. Here we are a little further along the trail. A few rocks here. Just a reminder, heading down as we go in, but we're starting out at 9,200 feet above sea level. Pagosa Springs at around 7,200. So it's a beautiful hike, and you can see in the mountains, a little bit covered by clouds. So just a reminder, when you go walk in on the way back out, make sure you take your time on the way back up, because you'll be walking uphill at the last bit. So save energy for your hike in, carry lots of water, but it's a beautiful hike so far. I'll give you a little more update and a little farther in. Okay, a little further up the trail, you can see we're still winding our way down a little bit up, but mostly down. Still early in the trail, probably 1/10 to 2/10 of a mile in, and lots of trees and roots to go with it. But it's quite beautiful. You can see along the tree line and the hills further out. And the trail is very easy to follow, at least so far. Continuing on the trail, and I'm coming to a little, we'll call it creek crossing, where you walk across on the rocks. Not too difficult. We're about to find out. Hopefully with the camera I can make it through, and no problem making it through. And again, beautiful scenery to enjoy the walk. And now one thing that's really nice, other than my talking, is if you listen carefully, you hear very little other than mountain wind. So it's a beautiful hike. I'll record a little further up. Okay, continuing on the 3-mile in and 3-mile out hike. Even though it's called 4-mile, it goes beyond the falls. And heading down, and you can see some of the trees are dying, which I have to find out, but you can still see up into the hills. So it's still a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful hike all around. I'll give you more later. Next is a little further up. Okay, just came down that little slope. Continuing to slightly go down, but it's starting to level off a little bit. And I think that's how it will be all the way. Well, we'll see. It's supposed to be level once you go down to the floor. I'm about 1 mile in, according to the people I just passed going the other way who had been into the falls, which are supposed to be spectacular today. There was a little rain yesterday, so that's probably why.
and there's still people up in front of me. And hopefully we're gonna hit the level spot, because I'll have to climb back out of all this and I'll just take my time. But it's still, I can't believe how beautiful it is. So if you ever get to Pagosa Springs, be sure to put this on your to-do list. It's near the end of summer, so it's the perfect time to hike in here. It's still quite warm. Come into a little bit of a clearing, so I thought I'd take a short video all around. There's the path, but you can now look back. See the clouds coming in overhead, and look back down what looks to be like a little flatter area. I keep saying that, but it's supposed to be relatively flat. Again, because of the rain yesterday, and I hear the falls are nice, there's another little creek to step across on the rocks. One step and you're over. And then out into another open valley. You can see, again, nothing but beautiful views. Something definitely to do. Very much enjoying it. Okay, now we've hit a sort of a grassy area, and you can look back from where I came, down across the grass. Still wonderful views, but the area kind of opens up and you can see some people hiking up in front of me. It's not that busy, but just happened to be together. Continuing to wind our way through the tall grasses on our way to the waterfalls. Some purple flowers along the way. And now we're leaving the field, heading closer and closer to the falls. Okay, we seem to have gone through the sort of meadow area, and now we're heading up a bit of an incline. So I'll catch you at the top. Turns out it was about a 200-yard uphill. Out of breath, because of the altitude. But we're heading back down on a relatively level trail. Again, to the left up the hill, and to the right down into the valley. Just came up another incline, listening to the beautiful wind, and now it seems to be flat again. And now we seem to be heading back down after we sort of crossed the ridge, heading still toward the falls. Probably about 2 miles in, about a mile to go. Well, going up a little hill, about a mile away, just talked to some hikers going the other way. And you can see the water uses the trail as a runoff. Heading back up a little grade, and here we go. Okay, now we've come to a patch where we're kind of walking in the woods, and there's a creek that you can hear just off to my right. Okay, I've gone across the creek now. We stepped across the rock, and I'm following the path, heading toward the falls. What a beautiful opening, and you can see the rock ledge on the mountain, a little bit of puddles to avoid, but what a beautiful view. Getting within maybe 3/4 of a mile of the falls. After having come up a fairly steep hill, as you can see down, let's follow the path down. I'm now continuing on, more flat. Looks kind of like there's the rock cliff, so I'm guessing somewhere along in there is where the waterfalls are. So I think I'm getting closer. Obviously I'm getting closer, hopefully not too much farther. Off in the distance you can now see the waterfalls. I'll try to zoom in so you can see them. But you can begin to see the waterfalls right in the center of where I'm filming. That's where we're headed. Continuing to wind our way down toward the falls. Come up kind of through the trees. Can't quite see them now because these trees are in the way. But it's kind of, the falls are kind of around the bend to the left once we reach that point. Further update when we get there. And here we are out of the trees, and you can see the falls. I'll zoom in. It's about a 300-foot fall from the peak down. Coming up a few passes, head down into trees with the big peak right there. So the waterfall is just a little bit further up. I've reached the 300-foot waterfall. I'll zoom in. It's about as close as I can get. There's probably, for better hikers, you probably get closer, but I'll be happy with this view right here. Let's see how far down it goes.